p.m. already, so we're going to jump right into our conversation. Allow me to introduce my guest to you. As always, you know, Pastor Wisdom Osiri will be here. Good afternoon to you, Pastor.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today, sir?
Excellent.
And I also have with me in the studio. He was here last week and he's here again today. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you join us again
Thank
today.
you very much.
That's
And
the catalyst.
The catalyst. Our very extinguished guests. This guest flew in from the United States of her house to make time to be here. It is no small favor to be here. Please join me. Make welcome the one and only, the delectable,
Oh my God.
the distinguished, one and only,
Elegant.
elegant.
Oh, gosh.
Pastor, you're the spirit.
Yeah.
Pastor is in the spirit. I mean, when Pastor closes his eyes, just know that
I'm deeply
he's
in
about
the
to
spirit.
flow.
I'm in the spirit.
Pastor Favour Osiri.
Oh
Good afternoon to you. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Gabby. Thank you so much. Don't mind Gabby.
Oh my goodness, it's been forever, literally.
I can imagine. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
here. You're
Thank you so
welcome
much.
so much,
Yes.
pastors. Good to have you here. So last week we discussed the man thing, Odogwu, and I'm really just salivating for what we have today, Pastor.
Yeah, because it's going to be a continuation of the Odogwu conversation. Last week we began talking about the extraordinary man, that the extraordinary man is an Odogwu man. We had an amazing summit yesterday. Yeah, the Mountain Summit, that we teamed Odogwu for this year. And it was amazing. We had an amazing time, and men packed the place. Well, men were there till 9 p.m. Even after we closed, they didn't want to go. For me, it was just so fulfilling to have men in one space. Even though we got some accusation from some women that we went for, a secret meeting. I say it's an open place. You know where we went to. The only thing that you may not know what we're talking, because we say it was strictly, out of ban for women, just men alone. And it was exciting to see men ask questions, to get answers to their questions. I mean, in fact, we couldn't even finish the questions. There were so much questions, both physically written questions and online questions. It suddenly tells us how much men have in mind, the things that they will rather want to discuss, things they rather want to talk about, the things that are, I don't want to say eating them up, but things that are bothering them, that they don't have a place to ventilate, a place to share. And so I was excited that men were vulnerable enough to find their type, and we left that place excited. So it's a continuation of what we said last week. We had an amazing summit yesterday. So today, when you say we should roll, we'll roll. We still talking about that an extraordinary man is an Odogwu, and we use the Odogwu word as an acronym. All right, so we have shared some few of the letters, so we're going to share the remaining ones today.
Amazing. The floor is yours, sir.
The floor is us. Okay,
yes.
So maybe I should allow the director of yesterday to give us his feedback of how he had an interaction with men.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Revelation Ohio Life with you. Complete Odogwu man. All right. Yesterday was a summit. And of course, we were able to take men to the summit of everything that a man is supposed to represent. And of course, the quality of men, the kind of array of men that were, I don't want to use the word on display, in that event effectively made it, I think, the premium gathering of men in the whole of South. Lately, I've not seen any gathering like that. And men came in from everywhere. We had a special and a surprise guest. And that was in the person of Mr. Kunle Sorinyo. He was there, and that just blew the roof open. And, men were excited. Men were willing to learn. We couldn't even, exhaust or even go halfway the questions that men have. Despite we stayed there till 9 p.m., men had a lot of questions to ask. And those men who are also listening to us right now, I know you have more questions, but listen to this. We are prepared and ready for this. We are ready to provide any kind of solution that will help men. So we are still going to counsel you. At the end of this narration this afternoon, we are going to probably put up one or two handles, maybe our Facebook or our Instagram handle. Please go there, drop your question. You can watch the live stream of all that we talked about yesterday, from finances to family to how a man can form a better part of himself, how men can recover from the frustration that, should I say, the women are piling up? Because somebody said, you tell a woman, I want to buy you a car. She tell you, I can afford a better car. You tell a woman, I want to get you a house on the other side of town. He told you, I just bought a new house. In fact, I bought a duplex worth 50 million. Women are up in their game right now. And all those things that makes men feel like men, women are now doing everything. So what makes man feel like a man? And, Pastor Larry said something. He said, anytime a man cannot win the argument intellectually, then he resorts to the fist. He wants to fight. Because if he cannot win it with reasoning, then he wants to win it with brute force. But we want to say that an Odogwu man is not a man who wins with brute force. He's a man who has superior arguments. He's a man who is a leader. He's a man who has influence and is able to chart the course for other men to follow. So the Man Thing Summit, as we've had it this year, I can tell you it is the best of the best. People are still talking about it online everywhere, and I want to believe that we have other derivatives of the Man Thing, like the masterclass and all that. We're going to put them up on the course of this narrative. You want to be a part of it. You don't want to miss out. By this time in the next 1 year, you should look back and say, my contact with the Man Thing platform, the Man Thing experience, changed the trajectory for me as a man.
Amazing.
So I think that before I share and begin to go into what we have today, maybe we should even get a feedback from Pastor Favour, because she was among the few women who came to the hall, but we didn't allow them to enter. Yeah, they had to stay outside.
We're trying to lobby, but
we have to find a way to settle them. Say anything you want to order, eat, we'll pay. These are the documents we're talking about here. Or anything you want to order, eat is on our head. Don't even talk about it. Don't think about cost. Just be careful about your health, but just eat. And we saw women who drove their husband. I was talking to some females. My wife is outside. She's the guy. I'm waiting for you until you finish today. You must be in this meeting. And for me, it's exciting because the similar thing happened last 2 years. Women drove their husband. You know how I say go. It's okay. I want to go. I'm looking for the driver. He said, "Don't worry. I'm the driver today. Forget about driver. Forget about driving yourself. I am your driver. I am your PA." But you see that Man Thing experience. That's something you have to be right in there, because we got some feedbacks of men, turn around in their lives and how, the family enjoy them. Because see, when a man gets better, everyone wins. Everyone is happy. So let's get a feedback from what was happening outside while we're inside.
Our representative.
Yes, women representative.
Give us feedback.
I think I want to say I was particularly very excited for the turnout of men. We as women, we've had lots of platforms where we're being mentored. I mean, every time you hear of one women empowerment program, 1D, so women are growing, but you hardly find a platform where men can actually become vulnerable and they are not judged. So I was very happy yesterday for the turnout. It was massive. And not just the turnout, the content. As we share, we'll share some things that I think as we actually take this discourse deeper, in the next 5-10 years, there's hope for this country. There's hope for families. There's hope for leadership, because more men, there's hope for the next generation of men. One of the things that we have seen across, whether it's politics, family, business, and all of that, is that some men, for some reasons, have actually lost their place, kind of, you understand, but it's coming back with full force. Like I said, from a young age, you see a girl is being mentored somehow. Whether her mother is cooking in the kitchen and she's around the corner, but the boys are playing.
Yeah. So
there's actually not been intentional mentoring for the boy child right from a young age going. And so for now, it's a beautiful thing that a platform like this has come up that cuts across. So it's not about religion, it's not about your race, it's about the man. And I'm so excited about that. Really, I was glad I was glad. I was
Amazing.
glad, yes.
The other women that were there, did they give some
Yes,
feedback to you?
Yes, women who were there were so excited. You know, I met women who actually, because I escorted our sons, our two sons, and those boys were blown away, 14 and 9-year-old.
Wow.
They were blown. What they were telling me they learned yesterday was massive. So I was with other women who told me, they said, listen, Pastor, this is the best thing that has happened to me. So this morning, some person sent me a message that my husband has been meditating.
Wow.
My husband said, where have I been all my life? You know, there was something Pastor mentioned, the power of love for transformation. Pastor was talking about that. What love can do, muscles may not be able to do it. And the woman said the husband was apologizing for every finger I've laid on you. For every finger I've laid on you. The woman was apologizing. Her husband was. So for me, I'm particularly excited that in our time and in the South, in Port Harcourt, that something like this is on.
Yeah, for me, it's a joy to be the convener of the man thing, and then just watch that transformation going on.
Exactly.
I mean, like what she was trying to highlight, talking about the software of an Odogwu, all right, the software of a man, the man, the way God created us,
Yes.
all right, the software of a man, which is also the power of a man, the most powerful tool a man has is love. Is love. Because what love cannot transform is not yet in existence. Love can literally turn an enemy into a friend. And that's why Jesus said, when somebody uses you in a wrong way, he said, even pray for your enemy. Because you know that prayer can only come through love. And when love is better in your heart, you're going to reap the harvest of love. And the harvest of love is dynamic. In other words, when love shows up, whatever the challenge is, their love can transform it. For instance, if the issue is issue of hatred, love can turn hatred to affection. If it's the issue of abuse, love can turn abuse to value. So love is dynamic in its operation. So if you look at all the men that have, impacted our world in a very significant way, we always, sometimes it may not come up that fast, but if you dig deep, the software that were running those men is love. So think about, Jesus, who said, what love can a man have that he gave his own, die for somebody else? You think about people like Martin Luther King Jr. What was driving him is love. Remember, he died. He died in the whole struggle of showing love. What was driving Mahatma Gandhi is love. What was even women? What was driving Mother Teresa is love. There was a president in our nation that got up, and please, I'm not doing it politics here, but the man said, you see, my ambition does not worth, the blood of any Nigerian. That's love. So we need to understand that the greatest of men are men of love. Love can give you what physical muscle can give. Love can produce what force, brute cannot produce. And so the moment you understand that, even whether it's your children or your wife, and do you imagine why the Bible says, husband, the only one key assignment he gave us, to do what? To love your wife.
Yeah.
And then if you read further, he says that love will now help you remove the wrinkles on her face. Yeah, because love is the most powerful facial treatment.
Wow, wow, wow.
Hey.
Can you say that again?
Yes, love is the most powerful facial treatment. You know how women anti-aging.
Instagram sometimes.
Anti-aging agent.
It's an anti-aging agent. On a very serious note, have you realized that you perform better in an atmosphere of love, in an environment of love? But when that love is lacking and you get to that point where you are now stranded, you're now kind of doing mechanical, and that's why sometimes people in a relationship, they say, I can't pull this out. There's no love. Because where there is love, sacrifice is almost like nothing. Right. When love is on ground, you can literally do things. And that's why men that love their family, that love their wife, they put their back through all kinds of pain. Pain might be coming by way, but they keep remembering their family at home, and they go through those hazardous jobs because of love. Sometimes a man, the body is paining him, but he realizes, I have to take care of my wife, I have to take care of my children. And when a man loses love, When a man loses love, nothing else can help him transform anybody.
Wow.
Because when a man loses love, he's like flat on the ground. And when a man is flat on the ground, even a crane cannot lift him up. Because you have to get to that point where, something that is driving you like a software is stronger than what is external. So from internal, you are now reconfiguring what is external to match into what you have on the inside. I don't know if you understand what that means. So Jesus will say, when you marry your wife, love your wife, I say, washing her with the water like word. You see that? So you're washing her, washing have some different type of connotation. It can also be like trying to, if like say wine somebody or titillate, whatever it is, want to use that word, but you bring her to that mental state where she's comfortable, where she's not threatened by external people, where she's not threatened by in-laws, outlaws, former friends, ex. No, you have to bring that. And so it says you're washing her with the water, like water, and then it says present her back to yourself. So in other words, a man knows my wife may not be the way I want her to be, but my job is through the instrument of love, turn her to what
amazing
she ought to be. Love is a tool of change. You can change it. And so yesterday, that's part of my core teaching yesterday, that every man, the most powerful thing God has called us to do is to love.
Powerful.
If you see a man of love, people gravitate around that person. If you see a man of love, kindness will come forth, goodness will come forth. All these things that we don't really want, we begin to, go almost into oblivion. Because love, look at Nelson Mandela. I can keep mentioning names. These people, they ran by law. If you have watched that movie, Long Walk to Freedom, they asked him that, why is he going through all of this? We can ask, where end all of this? He said, no, I'm guilty. And this you are asking me to do, I'm not doing it. They said, do you know this can land into jail? He said, well, what am I doing with my life? Let's go there. Because what legislation cannot help him to, change? He is a lawyer, don't forget. But he knew that love is even superior to law.
Amazing. Wow.
It's superior to law. And that's why Jesus said the Sabbath is meant for man, not man for the Sabbath. He's talking about love and law there. But I don't want us to digress. Just leave it there. So let me not go too deep and you lose the core of today. The core of today is that love is the amazing power every man has. We have a lot of tools in our toolbox as men, but the software that runs all that is love. And Bible will say all the laws are fulfilled in one thing: love. All the laws. I said all of the laws. If you just love, you have fulfilled all the law. Because with love, you won't steal. Right. With love, you're not going to kill somebody. With love, you're not going to take what does not belong to you. With love, you're not going to be unfaithful. So love is the core. Is the core. And I'm so excited that yesterday we were able to, touch on it. And the men left there thinking, wow, I need to check my love bank. Yeah. I need to check my love quotient. And so today we are here to expatiate more on helping our men become the men that God, our wives, our children can be proud of.
Amazing. Powerful. Well, we'd like that you join the conversation as well. We've got about 30 minutes or less for this. So if you have questions along the way, please call in and ask. The numbers to call are 0817 923 0002 0003 0007 or 0009. Pastor?
Okay, so we began talking about Odogwu, and we gave an acronym for that word, Odogwu. So the first one, letter O, it says an overcomer. An overcomer. We mentioned that everyone faces challenges. Victory is sweet in the mouth of everybody. Victory, however, is not cheap. Victory is not cheap. But an Odogwu now, because we're not using it for women. All right, is that man that understands that failure is not final. Failure might be fatal, but it's not final. I can turn this thing around. I can become, the person I was created to be, and then still represent, the fullness of myself. And then we talked about the power of this man to overcome that. These Odogus, they will always, tap into the imagination. So beyond their physical, they tap into imaginations, and they draw strength stronger than what Moses can see. I read a story, a documentary actually, about where they put some men, athletes, okay, they put them into a biometric machine, and they asked them in their imagination to run in their mind as though they are running on the field. Guess what happened? They asked them to run in the field, and they put these gadgets in their body and found out how their muscles were firing. At the same time, later, when they asked them to lie down on the bed in this biometric machine and asked them, on your march, get set, go. They were not moving any muscle, but in their mind, they were running. They discovered that the muscles were sending the same exact signal like when they were running. So Odogwu men know that sometimes my physical muscle may fail me, but there's something stronger on my inside I can tap into, and I'm able to conquer the things that are in front of me. That's what an overcomer is. And then we talked about number 2, we said the Odogwu man is also a diligent person. Is this laziness and Odogwuism are not synonymous. There is no I'm sure you are wondering about that English construct. Okay, so you can't see that laziness. No, that's why if as a man you lose job, you have to find a way to get back, to work. Then we say Odogwu man, which is an obedient person. He's obedient to rules, obedient to law, obedient to a superior authority, God, and all that. So they have respect, they have mentors. Odogwus are not unruly people. They're not people that behave as though they're above the law. That is not the brand. Part of what we're doing is to really rebrand Odogwu as it were. Right. And then the next one is generous. Revelation, talk about generous.
We did say that an Odogwu man is a giver, because essentially we live by giving. And last week, Pastor made an illustration that all the body organs essentially survives by giving. Your eyes, your kidney, your lungs, your heart. If it receives and it does not give, then there's problem. You cannot eat like an elephant and poo-poo like an ant, so to speak. So an Odogwu man is a man who understands the place of generosity, who understand that the world is an ecosystem and nature is connected. You are connected to me, I'm connected to you. And so an Odogwu man knows that he has to service what services him. Feeds you, what feeds you. That's the word. Right. You must feed what feed you. If you marry a wife and you are not feeding that wife, you are not taking care of her, you are not paying her bills, you are not doing the things you're supposed to do, then at night,
massaging her leg.
You now see one invisible hand moving. She will tell you, I've shut down.
No airtime.
No airtime. No network. Like they will say, I'm not in the mood. So you need to feed what feed you. And in every area, an Odogwu man needs to know that he's a giver. And, concerning a smile, they say if you smile first, you have just decided the direction of that relationship.
All right.
So an Odogwu man is a man who wears a smiling face. Even if it's just a smile, you don't even have to give money. Just give a smile, give a word of encouragement. Something must leave you at every point in time, every day, that will make a difference in the life of other people around you. So an Odogwu man must be generous.
Amazing.
All right, so the next one is about being wise. And so maybe I'll allow Pastor Favour to take on this one. And Odogwu man is a wise man. Have you met some wise men before?
I think I have somebody whose name is Wisdom.
She's living inside wisdom.
I'm living inside Wisdom.
This one choke.
I can't breathe.
Oh my God. The typical, before the redefinition we're given now, is just an Odogwu man is a man who has money. But with this redefinition, it's not just about money, but a wise man. In fact, scripture said it is through wisdom that you build, not just money. So, an Odogwu woman, and Odogwu's, Mrs. Odogwu.
I like the way that sounds.
Oh my God. I like this song there, man.
Mrs. Odogwu will be excited that her husband is able to dish out wisdom. Because there are times in the family where physical cash, you go through challenges and it's wisdom that will get you out of it. Let me give one very typical example of wisdom, applying wisdom. A woman was caught in adultery and the woman was brought to Jesus. I'm sure it's men that brought that woman to Jesus and allowed the man to run away. Now, when, of course, Jesus knew that they were right. The law of Moses says she should be stoned to death. I'm sure Jesus being wisdom himself.
Odogwu,
I'm
the ultimate
telling
Odogwu.
you, he bent down scribbling something, and he lifted up. He said, he didn't say, Levi. He said, if you are without sin, cast the first stone. That's wisdom. What he said actually, made everybody move away from that. And then he turned to the woman. Now, go and sin no more. So, if you are a man of wisdom, you can't be stranded. Because wisdom, the Bible says, is the stability. An Odogwu man is a man that is stabilized. Now, it's not as if he will not go through challenges. He will go through challenges, but he's actually decent in difficult times.
Wow.
He's not a man that he's going through challenges and he starts beating everybody in the house. There's no money in the house, he starts shouting at everybody. There are men who, when they go through challenges, they take it out on their children, or they take it out on their on the caregivers in the house, or take it out on their spouse. But an Odogwu man is wise. In fact, when it comes to finances, a scripture says that let me just paraphrase the scripture.
Yeah.
That if you do not spend all your money, it's wise. You are wise. Help me.
Proverbs 21:20 says, in the house of a wise man, there's so much to eat. But the foolish man spendeth it all. Meaning, it takes wisdom for you not to spend everything you have, no matter how small you have. So an Odogwu man cannot really be stranded. He may go through challenges, but you see, there's enough wisdom for him to come out of it. If you see an Odogwu man, his children are wise. His children are wise. There's something Pastor was saying yesterday in church, and Pastor was giving an example with flu. Flu.
Yeah.
Pastor was giving an example with influence. So an Odogwu man who is a man of influence, has so much wisdom. Anybody around his sphere catches it. Pastor was giving an example of a flu that he said that, when they talk about the flu, that when you sneeze, flus are very contagious. Very, very. So Pastor thought that flu came from the word influence. So an Odogwu man who is a wise man is influential, and his children will also catch that spirit of wisdom. So he is a wise man. We're not talking about a man that has a quotable quote.
Or wise sayings.
Wise sayings. Wise sayings
without
that
wise
copy.
doings.
Yes. Pastor said without wise doings. Exactly, because this is, you can just copy a quote. You say
wise sayings without wise doings.
So it's not.
Odogwu is on talking ado.
Oh my God! Thank you. So it's not just quotable quotes that you copied from somewhere. It's wise doings, talking ado. So it's an embodiment of wisdom. And I tell you, a wise person is actually an inspiring person. A wise person, the person may not have so much, but you see wisdom on display in everything that he has. Very important. And I'm happy that there are two Odogwus here. Wise people. With what I saw yesterday, the man thing, I'm like, this is wisdom.
Even the way the Odogwu meeting was put together, if we tell you our budget.
And don't tell them our budget.
Don't tell them, I'm telling you, the wisdom was on a high
But
level.
you need to see the event. Odogwu were able to squeeze water out of the rock. And that goes to the definition of leadership that my pastor will always give. That a leader is the man who identifies a need, that feels a need, F-E-E-L, and feels it, F-I-L-L,
Amazing.
with available resources at hand.
Correct.
Amazing.
So if it is 20,000 that is at hand, and Odogwu is able to squeeze out a solution from it. And Odogwu is not the one who cries there is no money, there is no job, everything is there is no. What you have, and Odogwu is able to actually turn a mountain into a monument instead of allowing the mountain to turn him into a monarch.
Wow. That's profound.
Did you hear that?
That's profound.
Yeah. Because you see, ultimately, it takes the wise to rise.
Yes, that's true.
It takes the wise to rise. Proverbs 24:3-6 says, "It's wisdom is what you need to build.
To build anything.
Wisdom is what you need to build." Let me read it for you in the Good News Translation. I like the way he puts it here. He said, "Homes are built on the foundation of wisdom and understanding. Where there is no knowledge, the rooms are furnished with. Where there is knowledge here. The rooms are furnished with beautiful things. Being wise is better than being strong. Did you see that?
Whoa.
Being wise is better than being strong. Yes, knowledge is more important than strength. After all, you must make careful plans before you fight a battle. And the more good advice you get, the more likely you are to win. So you see how powerful that is? Let me read it for you in the Message translation. It's just amazing in the Message. The Message puts it in a way that is difficult for you to forget it in a hurry. All right, Proverbs chapter 24. I'm reading verses 3 to 6. It says, it takes wisdom to build a house and understanding to set it on a foundation, on a firm foundation. It takes knowledge to furnish its rooms with fine furnitures of beautiful things. Okay? He said, it is better to be wise than strong. Intelligence outranks muzzle any day.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Intelligence outranks muzzle. Not some days, though. Any day. Strategic planning is the key to warfare. To win, you need a lot of counsel. So an Odogwu man understands the value of wisdom. That W there stands for wisdom. All right. So you have to acquire wisdom. You know, I was challenging the men yesterday about reading. All right. Yeah. You know, all the things I'm talking about, this thing we were talking about since last week is called the Odogwu Code. We've put them in the book Odogwu the Mountain. All right. So I was challenging the men, not only just get the book, read it. Read it. Don't just read. Apply. You know, because the most powerful form of knowledge is becoming.
You become it.
The most powerful form of knowledge is becoming. You know, when you go to school, you say, this person, we are 4 of us who went to high institution. This person, you know, started attending a class. After 4 years, he says he's an accountant. He became an accountant. He was not an accountant at the time he was matriculated, but at convocation, he has become. How did he become? He exposed himself to relevant curriculum curricula that helped him to become that. So when you have internalized knowledge, it does not remain like that. It is assimilated onto transformation that helps your metamorphosis into a new thing. So knowledge metamorphoses into something new. So if you want your husband to become, he has to swallow something. Wow. He has to read something. He has to encounter something. Because until your mind is affected, your life cannot be transformed. Sure. Until your mind is affected, your life cannot be amended in case something is going wrong. So that's why a wise man knows that it's better for me to buy a book and settle down and study. And you know, when a wise man knows also that if I empty my pocket into my head, my pocket can never run dry. And that's why wise men, and that's why they say leaders are readers. They read. They read, because all of us here, we came blank. You know, they say tabula rasa, hope I'm right, in Latin, means blank. Okay, but it's what are you putting inside? So each of the friends of yours that went to schools or something, they're exposed to something, they became something. So I want to encourage you as an Odogwu, you need to, or you want to become an Odogwu, then you need to be strong in an area. All right, when you hear Odogwu, it's not one particular thing. These are industry, you know, movers and shakers, different things. There's an Odogwu in sports. When you hear somebody like Ronaldo or Messi, those are Odogwu in football. Some of them, the amount of money that they earn is more than all their team members combined together. You know, those guys are at a different level. All right, so you have to make sure that but you see, they did not just get there. They acquired something. It's like you see young people, you know, achieving very great feats. You see them carrying this knapsack and they're millionaires because if they open their laptop, what they are not doing Yahoo. They are doing something useful, something creative, some value they can sell. So I want to encourage you as a man, you want to grow your wisdom. You want to expose yourself to people, you know, who has gone ahead of you. You want to understand that when you get wisdom, you're going to stand out. That without wisdom, you blend in. Wisdom causes to stand. Wisdom can never be hidden. That's why Bible says in Proverbs that wisdom is shouting at the streets. When I come into your space, what shouts at me is your wisdom.
Ooh, this is
so loud.
When I come into your space, your house with one. And Solomon had 1,000 of them. 1,000. It has to be so. It has to be a depth, man. It has to be a depth.
What did he tell us?
Man, it's not just a baddest guy. I mean, the guy is something. He's something.
Oh my God.
So that, but you see, this I'm talking about wisdom. And if you read Ecclesiastes, you could see why the man can do those things. If you read the songs of Solomon, you can see that he can. By the time you finish talking to a lady, the lady will go and tell the father, whether bright pass or no bright pass, I'm following this guy. Because this guy is just on a different level. So we're trying to say you when we are helping you to know that for you to become, you have to first be before you can have.
Okay.
You have to first be. So say, I want to have a faithful husband. I want to have a sweet husband. I want to have this. What has he done to be? Who is imparting him? Who is influencing him? How is he going to be that? Until you get to that point where you expose yourself to that being, you cannot ultimately turn around, because wisdom does not leave people the same. I know we're running short of time. Let me take the last one, which is about being unafraid. Okay, Rev, talk about that. I know you like that.
An Odogwu man is a courageous man. An Odogwu man is never afraid of anything. We always say that there is nothing falling from up that the ground cannot carry. An Odogwu man is kajad. An Odogwu man is not intimidated, not by anything. And for you to, show your Odogwu-ship, you must be an Odogwu that knows your honors. And we say that an Odogwu is not cannot be intimidated, not by life, not by other people's achievements, not by the achievements of, in quotes, women. A lot of men these days, they are so mipped by what they see women doing. And that makes them to actually lose a lot of confidence. And but an Odogwu man knows that he is who he is, no matter what he has or what he does not have. Life is full of battles. An Odogwu man has to fight all through. It's not like he has to be afraid of fighting at any time, and he must be willing to confront everything that confronts him, and also make sure that he gets the victory out, not only for himself but for his family, for his wife. There's a scripture, I've forgotten the place, where it says, fight for your wife.
Nehemiah chapter 4.
Yes, fight for your wife, fight for your city, fight for your community.
Fight for your children.
Yeah, fight for your children. A man must, get to that point in life where he knows that he's the defender of his generation.
Kai.
And he must be willing and able to do that. What your children's children are going to be, what is going to become of your children. This is the time to fight for it. Whether in politics, whether in finances, you might not have come from a wealthy home as a man. But if you are an Odogwu, you cannot leave your children without some level of wealth, because you need to fight and defend the territory for them. So an Odogwu fights mentally, an Odogwu fights spiritually, an Odogwu he conquers and builds a kingdom. And that's why the pastor says that it is the characteristics of a king that determines the characteristics of his kingdom.
The character of a king.
The character of a king
determines the characteristics of his kingdom.
So you must be that king, and you can't be a king with lily-liveredness. You need to be a man of strength, not just physical strength, but internal strength. You need to have wisdom, like we said. So an Odogwu is a man who is undaunted, a man who cannot be pushed down easily, a man who has gone down 7 times but risen 11 times.
Amazing.
That's an Odogwu.
Yeah, that's who an Odogwu is.
All right, so we have a question here. It says, can a husband exist in love without his wife who did not attain the mountaintop gathering of yesterday? Men's ribs are not complete. So what happens in a home where the wife is not acting as Mrs. Odogwu in family services?
All right, so I'm not sure I want to dabble into the rib matter now. The rib theory. Let's read the rib theory for today. The thing is that, and somebody asked this kind of question in our meeting yesterday. See, when it comes to the issue of encountering, an Odogwu in terms of applying what you're learning in your home, okay, you need to know there are 2 ways, like we learned yesterday. There is the enforcement, okay, and then there's empowerment. The fourth base, like you're trying to use force, you're trying to harass somebody into obedience, and there's another one of empowerment, which is where you that have changed, they can see the changes in your life, or you are trying to help this person. Obviously, the person knows you are trying to help me become better, become a different person, and that's how that person will begin to respond to you. So I don't want you to have, the mind that, nothing good can come out of this. I cannot become anything good. No. You have to step into that space and make up your mind. I am going to make a difference in the life of these people. So you might have some challenges, but you can conquer them. It may not happen in a day. And again, don't try to compare your spouse with another person, because no two people are exactly the same. You have to learn your own rope. You have to follow your own learning curve until you get to that point where somebody can willingly, don't forget what we say, that love is the most powerful tool of an Odogwu.
Another question here, sadly, might be the only one you can take, is from Jesse, who says, "Good afternoon, my Odogus and Gabby. So my friends call me Odogwu, and it baffles me because I'm not Igbo. But listening to my senior Odogus tell me why they call me that. Please, if you need to adopt an Odogwu, I'm all yours. God bless you. And blessing to my wife and myself." That's
yeah. Thank you. We have adopted you already. You are part of our client. You're part of our client.
Odogwu gang.
Yeah, Odogwu client. Yeah, Odogwu gang. The thing is that we need to do more of this encouragement to men and bring all the men back to a place. So men have had failures. They have had challenges.
Yes.
But like we said last time, that failures are not unique to any human being. Life does not give you timetable when they brings problems. So you have to take responsibility for your future. Failure will have caused you to fall on the ground, but pick yourself up back. Pick yourself from that floor, because there's a precious you inside that debt, and decide, you know what, every negative narrative that runs in my head, I'm going to change them with declare pleasant possibilities for my reality in my own life. And now that you understand this, is your choice to subscribe to the journey of greatness, to become an Odogwu, and stay like that. Stay at the top. Keep doing the best. There is no space for you down. There is a space for you up. There's traffic down. You have to go up. Okay, arise, shine. Your light has come, and we want to say welcome, Your Excellency, an Odogwu.
Oh dear, I was going to just squeeze in that call, but we lost it. So this will be a final comment in place of that call. It says, what happens when the man tries to make the home happy and he travels to make out something, but the wife seems not to respect him as the man? What can the man do here?
Okay, so we tried to answer this kind of question yesterday. It's like a man comes and says, my wife is not respecting me, my wife is not respecting me. Say, what do you want to do? I say, see, you have to go and find out from your husband what respect means. Respect is relative. I know there's a generic saying somebody respects somebody is relative. You have to also come into that space where you see, respect has to be earned. It's like what I tell men. Husband is not a title. Husband is a job description. You do the right job, you get the right respect. You don't do it, don't get it. So it's just like that, Even children will tell you like that also. And that's what we try to articulate in all the sections that we did yesterday. And like Revelation said, you can literally go to the Mountain NG on Facebook, like the page, and then you can watch the videos. For those of you that did not attend, and also if you follow me at Osiri Wisdom on Instagram and on Facebook, you can also be able to get a lot of content of what we released yesterday. And of course, the Odogwu book itself is available, and then you could DM me or find a way we can get it across to you. And that is where the real job is. And like Revelation said, we are not done yet. We still have the master class for people that really want to do that. So you can also DM us and be a part of that. And let's do our best to raise the Odogwus that our generation is seeking for.
Final word, sir.
Anything that will mess up your Odogwuship, stay away from it. If slapping a woman is not proper from an Odogwu, anytime your hand is up, think for a second. Don't bring it down that woman. Just use that hand to worship God. Because
Wow.
and Odogwu, you might be very angry and you just lift up the hand to strike, but the moment you remember that you're an Odogwu,
Hold
you
it
just
there.
say, Lord, I worship
I
you."
worship you.
I'm sure even the wife will
my
start
God.
laughing. The wife will just start
Word,
laughing.
word.
Just turn that anger to worship. Say, I worship you.
Don't waste your anger.
Don't waste it. Don't waste it on her.
All right.
Because Odogwu don't bring those hands on women.
Oh my, Pastor Favour, final words.
Yeah, I would want to encourage our female folks listening that, yes, quite some men may have actually not done so well, but let's not all take it out on the men. Let's pray for the men. Let's support the men. Let's encourage the men. Something good is happening.
Amen to that. Thank you so much, pastors, for a beautiful time today. We couldn't take as much responses as we should have, but let's have the social media handles again for those who
Okay,
would
so
like to
social media handle is The Man Thing, one word, The Man Thing NG, The Man Thing NG on Facebook, on Instagram. You can get the contents, including the live video of what happened yesterday. You also follow me at Osiri Wisdom, OSIRI, Osiri Wisdom on Instagram and on Facebook, and that's the platforms you can get all of this. You can send us a DM if you want us to tell you how to get the book, The Odogwu, The Man Thing.
All right. Thank you so much once again,
Thank you.
pastors. Have yourselves a lovely, lovely afternoon.
Thank you.
All right. 3 o'clock happens in 3 minutes. Rivers today, and right after Dio takes you on Hard Facts. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a splendid afternoon.